This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.
That is stupid. I bet money. I put money on Rashad then, just 6-1. Yeah,
Why?
I would lock it in now because Rashad's really, I think, one of the best guys out there as far as blending his stand-up and his wrestling together, and he's very quick, standing and on the transition and to his wrestling. And I've seen his last couple fights, he's got a great top game, which a lot of wrestlers have. But he was just would kind of hold people. And now he takes position, he passes, he does a lot of stuff.
I think that's fairly accurate. I mean, both those guys, again, for me it's hard. They're both wrestlers, so it's hard for me to choose one. But I think John Jones, he's got a lot of range to use. He's really athletic. Rashad's pretty good at coming inside and closing the distance. We saw against Phil Davis. But I still think that John Jones has more ways to win right now. But going the distance, who knows? I mean, Rashad still looked pretty fresh in the 5th round there against Phil Davis. So, if it goes the distance, you might see an upset maybe. Who knows?
6-1? I don't think that's right at all. I give Jones 100% credit for being a big favorite. I mean, he's earned it. He's slaughtered everyone. He walks through Shogun like he did any other fight in his rise to the top. Those are all great fights, but to walk through the champ like that was just insane in every aspect of it. So he had some trouble setting the tone against Rampage, but the reason I think it should be less than 6-1 is because Rashad, number one, knows him obviously. Number two, he's very fast, very athletic, and he's the most well-rounded guy that he's going to have faced at this point. I think he just got his black belt last year in jiu-jitsu. Wrestling pedigree's there, and he's got phenomenal stand-up. So I think it's going to be very interesting. And I think out of anybody, this is the fight that I'm most intrigued about, just in the sense that I think Rashad really has the biggest chance of getting the upset.
I feel like John Jones being a favorite over Rashad makes sense. I mean, he's been dominating everyone, so it's not like respect your elders here. This is the real world where whoever's earned it gets the opportunity to have the favoritism, and Jones has done that. I mean, he's proved it that he's on a different level right now, and Rashad's the guy that's going to give him trouble and has a good chance to win. But I would say that Jones is the favorite.
6-1's pretty big in any MMA fight. Anything can happen with 4-ounce gloves, as we always say. So I think 6-1 is really big, but I think it's definitely understandable. I mean, John Jones is coming off probably one of the best calendar years in MMA history. Beyond the skills that he's shown, he's also got a lot of fan behind him as well. And I think a lot of times fan sentiment factors into the wagering line. So personally speaking, I think the line is a little bigger than it probably should be, but I definitely think it's understandable as well.
I think it is what it is. John Jones has proven that he's a top 2-3 fighter in the world right now, so not too surprised that he's a pretty big favorite over Rashad Evans. I think the line is pretty much right on. Some people are saying, don't sleep on Rashad. I don't think the bookmakers are sleeping on Rashad. I think it just shows how much confidence they have in John Jones to win the fight. But Rashad Evans is familiar with John Jones. He has trained with him. I would not be surprised at all if Rashad came out and won a few rounds. But, of course, John Jones should be the favorite. He's pretty much the favorite against anybody in the world he would fight right now, with the exception of maybe Anderson Silva. So I think the line's good.
I think he's favorite. He's proven that he should be favorite, I suppose. It's not going to be an easy fight. I mean, it's a tough fight, and if anybody knows how to beat John Jones, it would be Rashad. So it's going to be an awesome fight.
I think Rashad got a good chance to win that fight. I'm anxious to see how the fight goes. Rashad is a very good fighter, and John Jones is a very unique fighter. But I think Rashad probably have the edge, But
Awesome comment.
both of them great fighters.
I'm gonna go with my boy Rashad, man. I've seen, John Jones is a good fighter, but I've seen many guys get beat. I saw I saw Usain Bolt get beat by Tyson Gay last year in the 100-meter dash, and Usain Bolt was unbeatable at the 100-meter dash at one point. I saw the great Kobayashi get beat by Joey Chestnut at the hot dog eating contest. I seen Alexander Karelin get beat by Rulon Gardner. I saw Mike Tyson get defeated by Buster Douglas. I've seen everyone that's supposed to be unbeatable get beat. So no such thing as unbeatable. And styles make matchups. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, I think John Jones is a great fighter, and I think Rashad's a great fighter. But I think Styles, if Rashad's the right game plan, he can win. Same thing with John Jones. He's the right game plan, he can win. But I'm going with my boy Rashad because I've known him since college. You know what I'm saying? And it's my brother right there.
I think he has to get in his face and pretty much fight him. Make it an ugly fight. Close that distance real well. Jones he's great at using his distance and his range, and for Rashad, he has to get inside that and pretty much make it a real dog fight.
I think Rashad has a lot of different ways to win. He's got knockout power. He's a high-level wrestler. He's got jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's got a lot of ways to win. I don't think that he's super outmatched. I just think that Jones is the favorite. So he just needs to implement his game plan and have confidence.
I mean, the best chance for Rashad to win that fight is to stay in the pocket. He can't let Jones fight his rangy fight that he normally fights. It has to be in the pocket, mixed with wrestling, and it has to be a lot of scrambles. When you let John Jones have the range and just impose his will and his style, it's a long night. So Rashad's got to make Jones fight his fight, which would be an inside fight with a lot of wrestling.
Well, there's a lot of things Rashad can do. I think the biggest thing is going to be kind of the psychological warfare leading into it a little bit. Rashad's got knockout power. I think he certainly, if he can deal with the range of John Jones, he can certainly strike with him. He's definitely got capable wrestling as well, so if he wants to try to get on top, we haven't seen John Jones on his back a whole lot, and I think that's a position we might want to explore a little bit and see how he handles things there. So I think, Rashad Evans can compete with John Jones everywhere. I think the biggest thing is just going to be the mindset. Does one or the other get in each other's head building up to this fight? And the other thing, too, that Rashad Evans has as an advantage, I think, is the fact that they have trained together. And regardless of what you think of the stories of who was beating who and that sort of thing, erase all that. Just knowing that you've been in there with that guy, you know how to deal with his range a little bit more. You're familiar with his movement a little bit. I think John Jones is kind of becoming a little bit like Anderson Silva, where there's just nobody else that moves like him. There's nobody else with that body type. There's nobody else that puts it together the way he does. So it takes guys a little bit of getting in there and getting familiar and understanding how to deal with that length and how to deal with that movement. I think that's an advantage Rashad is going to have. He doesn't have to figure that out. He's got it already. Not that John Jones hasn't progressed since they trained. Of course he has. But I think that's something that I think Rashad can use to his advantage.
I think what Rashad needs to do is take away from some of John Jones' confidence. I'm sure that a lot of people are saying the exact same thing because it's true. We just haven't really seen John Jones in adversity yet. I think he got hit a little bit by Lyoto Machida. He lost a round in that fight, but he was never in really a lot of trouble. I'd like to see Rashad Evans take him out of his comfort zone. Rashad has trained with him. He's very familiar with him. He knows what his weaknesses are. At least he knows what his weaknesses were when the two trained together. Obviously, John Jones could have addressed that, but Rashad needs to... I'm sure that there was a time where Rashad was kind of the big brother and Jones was the little brother, and Rashad was able to do what he wanted against him. So maybe if he can do that early on in the fight, take away from some of Jones's confidence, then we'll see how mentally tough Jones is. And I think he is mentally tough, but that's definitely Rashad's best chances to get in his head early.
This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.